Chinese Premier Wang Yi is on a two-day visit to India to improve the relations between the two nations. On the agenda are bilateral ties, cultural and border issues and many more. Here's a report.
Yes, Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, is on a two-day tour to India. This is the first contact between India and China after the elections. The visit comes after a telephonic conversation between the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and China Prime Minister Li Qiang. But what is the agenda?
We found these talks very useful because we were setting an agenda for bilateral engagement over the next 6 months or so. China is a neighbor with whom we share a long border. Our neighborhood, as you are aware, is a primary focus of our new government. China is also a major economy, and our bilateral ties are of a significant magnitude in terms of economic relations.
Well, the Chinese Premier Wang Yi came as the envoy of the Chinese President Xi Jinping and met the Foreign Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, who gave him a warm welcome. It is said that the talks were cordial, useful, productive and substantive. He came here to hold talks with the new Indian government and negotiate on how to push forward the bilateral talks.
Foreign ministers of two important countries like India and China meet. They also discuss, apart from bilateral relations, other relations, other aspects of international relations, which both are interested in. And therefore, there was a discussion on matters of regional and international importance to both our countries.
Modi, who is the man of the industrialists and capitalists, is expected to bridge the gap between the two countries by improving the souring relations over the years. India being China's biggest trade partner, economic ties could not have been ignored. So how do both the partners plan to bring in greater investment by the Chinese market?
The economic issues were discussed in great detail. And I must say that Foreign Minister, our External Affairs Minister, Mrs. Sushma Swaraj, did talk about Chinese investment into India and how to promote Chinese investment into India, including through possible industrial zones or industrial parks that could be established here. And Foreign Minister Wang Yi also said that economic development is something which China supports. The economic development of India is something that is supported by the Chinese government.
China and India share long borders, and hence border relations were an integral part of the discussion. Not just that, even cultural ties were discussed in the 3-hour-long meet with Sushma Swaraj. It was indeed a comprehensive talk, and the Chinese Foreign Affairs Minister is expected to meet the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to discuss the issues in an elaborate manner. Not just the Prime Minister, but even President Pranab Mukherjee is on the list of delegates. But even as the BJP is looking towards the east, there were many factions within the country that went into demonstrations and protest mode after the Chinese Premier stepped into the country. Well, this is not the first time that the Tibetan folks have expressed their ire over a Chinese premier coming to India. Time and again, they have urged the Indian government to wake up to the demands of the Tibetans. New Delhi was one of the places where a massive silent protest took place, with people shouting slogans against China and holding posters and placards urging Modi to raise the Tibet issue.
I think this is nothing new that the Tibetans are protesting in different parts of India during the visit of any Chinese leader. Since India is a democratic country and every Indian citizen has a right to demonstrate, to express their freedom of expression, so they can demonstrate in any part in a peaceful manner, which is what the Tibetans are doing.
But what is the Tibet issue after all?
Today, the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi is coming to India upon the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we are here to raise awareness about Tibet and urge Prime Minister Modi that when he meets with the Chinese Foreign Minister today, he should talk about Tibet, raise the issue about Tibet, and really we want to inform Narendra Modi ji that there's a lot of atrocities happening in Tibet. Since 1959, Tibet has been illegally occupied by the Chinese government. Since 2009, we have had over 130 self-immolations in Tibet. So these are all issues about human rights, about freedom, about democracy. So we want to urge Prime Minister Narendra Modi to raise these issues with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi today.
Well, the government is going all out to improve its relations with the neighbouring countries. And with the neighbours taking the initiative to improve the souring relations, we do hope that something positive comes out of it. Will India manage to become the Sone ki Chidiya in Modi's reign? What will be the agenda of Wang Yi's meeting with Modi tomorrow? Let's wait and watch. A News9 report.
And moving on now, BJP leader Vijay Pandit, who was shot dead last night, was laid to rest today. Even as 4 persons have been arrested, Vijay's family members have blamed the Samajwadi Party for his death. Here's a report.
Last night, BJP leader Vijay Pandit was shot dead by unidentified people who came on their motorcycles. Today, the ADG of Law and Order, Devendra Chauhan, explained how it all happened.
तो विजय पंडित साहब जो है अपना बिजनेस अपना बंद करके, दुकान उनकी है, उनके पास में किराना की शॉप है, वो बंद करके अपने घर अपने 4-5 दोस्तों के साथ आ रहे थे. जूस की दुकान है जीटी रोड पे, वहां पर वो पहुंचे थे. तो जीटी रोड के अपोजिट लेन से, अपोजिट साइड से, वहां से एक लेन है, वहां से 2 व्यक्ति आए और उन 2 व्यक्तियों ने, क्योंकि ये पीछे थे, इनकी पीठ उनकी तरफ थी, तो पीछे के पास उनके आए और हथियार उनके नजदीक सटा के उनके ऊपर गोली चला दी. उसमें करीब 6 गोलियां उनको लगी हैं.
Immediately after the incident, his family members took him to a nearby hospital in Ghaziabad, where he was declared brought dead. The Greater Noida police today arrested 4 persons in this connection and interrogated them. Who killed Vijay Pandit? Even as investigation is underway, Pandit's family members blamed the UP government and the state police for his murder.
अनिल दुजाना की एक धमकी आई थी चुनाव से 2 दिन पहले. ये दादरी की पुलिस की गुजरों से मिली है और मुझे तो उन तीनों की लाश देखनी है बस, और कुछ नहीं चाहिए तो किसी से भी.
इसके लिए पुलिस प्रशासन को और उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार, क्योंकि उनके ही ढुलमुल रवैये की वजह से ही ये हादसा हुआ है. क्योंकि चुनाव पीरियड का दौर चल रहा था, उसमें क्या नाम है, गुंडा एलिमेंट की धमकियां मिल रही थी भाई को. उन्होंने लिखित में भी और मौखिक में थाने में बराबर इतला उन्हें जानकारी दी, उन्होंने उस पर कोई भी कार्रवाई नहीं करी.
As Pandit's body was being taken for cremation, hundreds of BJP workers and supporters took to the streets and protested against the lawlessness in UP. They shouted anti-Samajwadi Party slogans and demanded justice for their leader. Even last night, immediately after the incident, violent protests broke out at Dadri as protesters pelted stones at vehicles. The situation became worse after protesters burnt down vehicles and the police had to fire in the air to control the protesters. Soon after the protest, the police imposed Section 144 in Dadri and security was beefed up to avoid such incidents. The ADG Law and Order, Devendra Chauhan, said that the situation is under control and that they would find out the real culprits very soon. Meanwhile, political leaders from across the spectrum reacted differently on the incident.
बहुत ही दुख का विषय है जिस तरीके से महिलाओं के प्रति हिंसा बढ़ रही है और साथ ही दुख का विषय है जिस प्रकार से जो एक राज्य की सरकार को, शासन को लोगों के साथ खड़े होना चाहिए, उनकी पीड़ा का ज्ञान ना होना या उनकी पीड़ा के प्रति संजीदगी नहीं रखना, ऐसी सरकार नहीं चल सकती और लोगों के मन में जो अविश्वास की भावना पैदा हो रही है उससे देश का और राज्य का ही नुकसान हो रहा है.
उत्तर प्रदेश में सरकार नाम की कोई चीज दिख नहीं रही है. उत्तर प्रदेश में कानून व्यवस्था पूरी तरह से ध्वस्त हो चुकी है, चौपट हो चुकी है और उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार जिस तरह से उस पर रिस्पांस कर रही है वो बहुत कैजुअल रिस्पांस है. ऐसा रिस्पांस है जिससे कि अपराधियों के और अराजक तत्वों के हौसले तो बढ़ रहे हैं लेकिन अपराध और जो लोग पीड़ित हैं उनको किसी तरह की राहत नहीं मिल रही है.
Condemn any incidents of violence, whether it is against women or murder like last night. Particularly if it's a political murder, it seems that the situation warrants looking at. The law and order situation is the state subject. I think they need to look into it. I believe the central government is also examining the situation.
The UP government has been facing criticism over the recent rape case in Budaun and for the improper comments made against women. Now this incident also brings more shame for the Samajwadi Party. Will the UP government be able to curb such heinous crimes and make the state a safer place for its citizens? A News9 report.
And moving on now, Aam Aadmi Party had garnered a lot of support from the country for its cause, but somewhere in between, the party seems to have lost ground and have gone astray. And now the party chief, Arvind Kejriwal, is trying all he can to rebuild the party and gear up for the assembly elections.
AAP's mission expansion. After a major poll debacle in the Lok Sabha elections, AAP is going all out to woo the voters for the upcoming Delhi elections. But even as they are doing that, a rift within the party has emerged. With the top brass of the party tendering its resignation, Arvind Kejriwal found the functioning and even the very existence of the party very arduous. And for the same, the party held a meeting today to discuss the key issues regarding dissolution of the party and also the election agenda for Delhi. But now, speculations are rife that Shazia Ilmi might make a comeback into the party fold. Not just that, Arvind Kejriwal refused to accept the resignation of Yogendra Yadav and Naveen Jaihind, who offered to quit the party. Though the cracks within the party are quite evident, the party is still denying any rift. Arvind Kejriwal said,
"Resignations will be discussed tomorrow. All things are going smooth and differences are resolved. We are discussing organizational structure. Expansion of PAC could be possible."
So now that the party chief has gained new lease of life to fight a new battle and rubbished all the speculations of a party dissolution, it remains to be seen whether or not the electorate of Delhi will be kind enough to give the tainted party a second chance in the assembly elections. A News9 report.
And well, finally, all seems to be well with the KFCC, and the reason for that is Ambarish's decision to continue as the president of the Film Chamber of Commerce, along with other office bearers.
It was celebrations at the Karnataka Film Chamber of Commerce today. The Kannada artists walked into the office with a smile on their faces and the newfound zeal.
Welcome.
All thanks to actor Ambarish, who had come to visit them today after his prolonged illness and the Lok Sabha election in the state. Well, if this was one of the reasons for the Kannada actors' happiness, there was another reason why their happiness knew no bounds. Ambarish to continue as KFCC president. Yes, this was the bigger reason for their happiness. During the meeting today, it was decided that there would be no fresh elections and that the current office bearers will continue for another year. Following the decision, the president of KFCC, Ambarish, announced the association's decision.
ಏನಿದೆ ಸಭೆ ನಡೆಯಿತು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಮ್ಮತದಿಂದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರ ಬಿಡಿ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮಂಡಳಿನೇ ಇದೇ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಘನ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಒಮ್ಮತವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲಾವಿದರನ್ನು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮಂಡಳಿ ಕೂಡ ಹಂಗೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷನಾಗಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿತೀನಿ.
Meanwhile, senior actor Doddanna, who is also the secretary of Kannada Film Artists Association, presented the report on the contributions they have collected from 2008 to 2013 for various causes, the amount spent on the building and other expenditure. On the occasion, he also stated that the new building constructed for Kannada Film Artists Association will be inaugurated on Vijayadashmi festival.
ಲೆಕ್ಕಪತ್ರಗಳ ಮಂಡನೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತದನಂತರ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ವಿಷಯ ಬಂದಾಗ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ, ಹಳೆ ಕಮಿಟಿನೇ ಮುಂದುವರಿಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸರ್ವಾನುಮತದಿಂದ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯದ ಮೇರೆಗೆ ಅಂಬರೀಶ್ ರವರು ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾಗಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕಾರಿ ಸಮಿತಿ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Most of the actors, including Darshan, Prem, Ganesh, Tara, Sudharani were present for the meeting today. But Shivraj Kumar, who was engaged with personal work, and his brother Puneet didn't make it for the meeting. Well, after all the ugly scenes, curtains have been drawn with Ambarish continuing as the president of KFCC. But knowing KFCC, one wonders for how long the peace will reign. Akasmita for News9, Bengaluru.